名，
可以有更好的观看体验，好吧？我们请后面5排的朋友帮我们往前坐一点。So our distinguished guests, if you're sitting at the back rows, at the last 5 back rows, please sit forward to the front. Sit forward to the front to have a better angle to watch our session. Thank you. 好，那我们也提醒刚到场的贵宾哦，如果要领取翻译耳机，可以到场外来领取。那请记得携带您的个人证件来领取翻译耳机。那待会呢，我们要使用翻译耳机的话，频道1是中文，频道2是英文，频道3是日文，请大家帮我们注意哦。If you like to get the translation earphones, please go outside and remember to bring your personal ID to get them. And for channel 1 is Mandarin Chinese, number 2 is English, channel number 3 is Japanese. So thank you very much for your cooperation, and remember to switch your mobile phone into mute or vibration mode. 那同时也提醒大家把你们的手机调整为震动或是静音模式哦，谢谢。是乐活式来探讨公益文化在全球化还有数位时代下的机遇跟挑战。本次活动呢也会用直播的方式同步进行，大家可以在公益中心的粉丝团、YouTube 还有活动官网上面都看得到直播。也请大家可以多多帮我们把直播分享出去，让更多人可以看到精彩的内容。 那么首先呢，在我们活动一开始，我想先邀请与会莅临的贵宾，也请唱名道的贵宾可以起身跟全场的朋友挥手致意。First of all, I would like to introduce our distinguished guests. So when I call your name, please stand up and wave to everyone as a greeting. 首先，让我们欢迎文化部文化资产局陈继明局长，请大家给热烈掌声欢迎。接着，让我们邀请国立台湾工艺研究发展中心陈殿礼主任，欢迎。紧接下来，邀请国立台南艺术大学邱尚嘉校长，欢迎。接着邀请到台湾工艺学会梁家豪理事长。紧接着，我们有请台湾工艺联盟总会叶志成总会长，欢迎。接着有请自由落体股份有限公司董事长陈俊良老师。Coming up next, I would like to introduce our foreign distinguished guests. 接下来要欢迎到我们外国的贵宾哦。First, I would like to welcome Professor Alisumi Mitamura sama, Emeritus Professor of Tokyo University of the Arts, Japan, and 10th Generation Master of Akatsuka Ryu, Edo Makier. Next, I would like to welcome our guest, Professor Tanaka Takamitsu sama, from Iwate University, Japan. 欢迎日本国立岩手大学田中隆充教授。So coming up next, I would like to welcome Professor Fukatsu Yuko-sama from Tama Art University, Japan. 欢迎我们日本多摩美术大学深津裕子教授。Next, I would like to welcome Mrs. Sena Wee, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Sustainable Arts and Crafts Institute, Thailand. 泰国永续工艺美术学院副首席执行长 Sena Wee 女士。Next, I would like to welcome Mrs. So Yoon-kyung, Head of Craft Cultural Industry Team, Korea Craft and Design Foundation. 韩国工艺设计基金会工艺文化产业团队负责人徐允清女士。So next, I would like to welcome Mr. Nishibori Kotaro-sama, Japanese Traditional Craft Hiyoshiya 5th Generation Head, Japan. 日本金和伞日吉屋第5代传人西库根太郎先生。Coming up next, I would like to introduce Mr. Elvin Chitrovia-Jo, 印尼家具设计 Elvin T CEO Elvin Chitrovia, CEO of Elvin T Indonesian Furniture Design. So welcome all of our distinguished guests. Thank you so much for coming all the way to Taiwan. 那么紧接下来呢，我们非常感谢。
Next, we would like to thank all of our speakers for coming to Taiwan. We would like to welcome Director Chen of the National Taiwan Craft Research and Development Institute to give us a few words. All of our guests, welcome. In the interest of time, I won't name each and every one of you. I'm very honored to be here on behalf of the organization to welcome all of you, to welcome you to our forum today from home and abroad. Today's forum, especially this is our 70th plus 1 anniversary. We have Professor Yan coming back to Taiwan from the United States. He started our center, and I would like to thank him for being here with our institute. This is the 70th plus 1 anniversary, and you know life starts again at 70, so plus 1 means we are starting a new year. This is the new year of crafts. And on the 28th of May, opening ceremony of our institute, this is not just our, and we said this is not just our season, but this is our craft year. Taiwan is going to be an island of crafts. And the most important of our forum today is to invite all of the key men that have to do with crafts to share with us some of the important endeavors they have made in crafts and to facilitate our exchanges, which is why our topic today is slow hus, and we are sending out the slow waves and receiving the slow waves. We are receiving everything in this deep waters, and on behalf of our National Taiwan Craft Research and Development Institute, I would like to again thank everyone online and on site with us. Thank you. I would also like to wish today a huge success. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Director Chen. Next, we would like to invite Director Chen Jiming to speak. Good morning, everyone, all of our honorable guests. I am very honored to be here at our event today. As Director Chen mentioned earlier on, we have a lot of predecessors in the crafts world to be here for exchanges. We have people who arrived earlier because the typhoon hit Taiwan, and our banquet was canceled last night. But today we still have a forum. Everybody can still mingle and exchange and to find out what everyone is doing through this forum. So we have traditional and modern crafts, whether there are traditional or modern crafts. It's not just about the object itself that exists, but how this object can connect with our general daily life. And the craft objects has to demonstrate its history, its aesthetics, and its history, and to really touch people. I often visit a lot of crafts gift shops, and I see people, when they pay, they are paying for more than just the object itself. So this is how, when we are thinking about how to make the craft world an industry, we need to reach further up and down the stream. Currently, I am at the Ministry of Culture, and we are looking at cultural and traditional crafts. We are looking at how to connect the traditions, but how to pass on the inheritage and to connect with our modern world. That is what we are most concerned about, and I think this is what we're touching on today. Whether we're talking about traditional or modern crafts, we will be able to develop innovatively. And we have to embrace the public to connect crafts with the general life. And I think this is what everyone can share with others today. So I'm very happy to be at the forum today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Director General Chen. Next, we are moving into a group photo. We are hoping that everyone who is sitting in the last 5 rows to please move forward. We
sit forward to the front. We're going to take a group photo together. Please sit forward if you're sitting at the last 5 rows. 好，请大家多多配合。那待会呢，我们也
Later on, we would like to invite
好，那我们等后排贵宾移动一下哈，等后排贵宾移动完往前坐下哈。最后5排不坐人，麻烦大家喽。Last 5 rows, please sit forward. 好，那如果我们坐下差不多。
Now, if we are all settled, we would like to take a group photo. Please look at
3, 2, 1。好，需要画面的挥手一下，哪里需要画面 ？Okay, looking at our photographer raising his hand. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's give it a big smile, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. OK， 好，那感谢大家的莅临，我们也希望大家今天能够收获满满。那接下来呢，我们马上要开始今天的国际公益论坛。
We will now officially begin our forum today. First of all, we would like to invite our moderator to the stage. Here we have Professor Associate Professor Fan Chenghao from the National Taiwan University of Arts.
Director General Chen, President Zhou, and Mr. Chen Junliang, distinguished guests from around the world, and also our good friends who have been working and committed in this field of craft. Good morning. It's to my great pleasure to see good friends from the entire craft circle together at the same place under the support of Ministry of Culture and also the leadership of the first director and also the colleagues' commitment from our institute and also our good friends who have been walking together and making big strides with us. We continue to see our institute under different leadership of directors. We have been reinventing ourselves over and over again, especially after Dian Li, the new director who took over this position, has been mapping out the future for us. Therefore, he come up and coined the term of S-LOHAS. And in addition to continue developing our industry, we also want to further expand our influence. Therefore, under the leadership of Craft and Research and Development Institute, in many different occasions, we actually make our presence seen. In the process, we have observed that a lot of different markets, lots of workshops and forums and fairs. So these are different approaches for us to explore our future roadmap. And this morning, we have two special guests who play critical role in organizing fairs and exhibitions, including the New Chip Porcelain founder Wang Xiajun, who had helped us curating exhibitions for the institute. And therefore, we have invited the two speakers to be with us today to talk about exhibitions they have curated. And again, we would like to invite Director Chen to introduce to us all these fantastic fairs and exhibitions organized by the Institute this year. And I believe for all of us here, look forward to this very exciting event. So I am not going to make up more time. I'm going to give the floor to the previous mentioned three speakers. And Wang Xiajun, the founder of New Chip Porcelain, is still overseas. He cannot be with us today. Therefore, we would like to play a video of a couple of minutes. So this can illustrate the curatorial process by Mr. Wang Xiajun, and wish you great health and a successful event. Thank you very much.
好，那我们王霞君老师的
All right, we will be playing our video later on. We next would like to welcome our Director of National Taiwan Craft Research and Development Institute, Chen Dianli, on stage to talk about slow living is a joyful living. Good morning, everyone. The typhoon this week caused a lot of disaster and inconveniences, especially in southern Taiwan. It was catastrophic. We have principals coming from Tainan, and the destructions was severe. Of course, this morning, our moderator was supposed to be President Xiao, but because the National Palace Museum in southern Taiwan is in a serious state, so he cannot be here. And also, Mr. Wang Xiajun, Heinrich Wang couldn't make it back to Taiwan, so I will be here to share with you a video from Heinrich Wang. This video is from our Slohas craft. Slow living is joyful living, and we start with first slow has water. This water is slow, the heart is slow, and basically it's about the three types of slow living. This is at our institute, moving from the basement all the way to the second floor. In the exhibition right now is our new exhibition. In this new exhibition, through Heinrich's curation, we see whether it's our exhibition or our crafts festival, we are sharing this. We say that this is not just a state, but an aesthetics that penetrates life. The essence of crafts starts with our perceptions, and we use this exhibition to change the function-oriented purpose to start anew with our inspirations, to going back to tea, coffee, and these original materials through their aroma, their texture, to invite everyone to smell it and to feel it, to really think about and to remember the flow of these materials, so that when you leave it and when you raise your glass again, you are going to feel very differently. When craftsmen put down functionality and start to capture inspirations in life, their works become a medium of emotions and poetic experiences assume. We have ceramic dome that is hanging in the center. It's like water slowly penetrating, every part of our life. The over 1,600 porcelain pieces are like, they renders and penetrates to revive the different senses. And I hope that through this exhibition, we can rediscover the depth of beverage and to find the delicacies that we have omissed in our fast-paced life. We hope that through this exhibition, we can invite everyone on site and online to come and visit our institute in Nantou Caotun. Our International Craft Forum have invited guests from around the world, and there will also be a tour that will take everyone to some of the important exhibitions. Hope they can see the beauty of crafts and the happiness of crafts in Taiwan. And we hope to spread it and to draw back more inspirations. I think that's ultimately the goal of this exhibition. So once you enter the entrance, you are going to see this penetration, and we're hoping to really radiate throughout the world. And our venue on the first ground, the basement, is to really feel the simplicity of crafts. It's where people can co-create. And on the second floor is flowing like and blossoming like plants. And I think these are all important goals we hope to achieve through our exhibition. And I hope through Mr. Heinrich's video, we can invite everyone to our National Taiwan Crafts Research and Development Center Institute in Nantou Caotun, where, of course, Mr. Chen Junliang will also be sharing with us another important exhibition in Taipei. And here, the most important theme, Slohas, is our theme this year. Slow living is joyful living. So we start with an S and ends with another S. It's an infinity of good crafts. We hoped to start with simplicity to sustainability. And we hope to move from simplicity to sustainability. And it's a goal everyone is trying to achieve around the world. We hope to be sustainable in our development, and that's the most important idea, from moving from S to S, from simplicity to sustainability, to really form an infinite S cycle. Will take concerted effort from everyone, and we need 4 elements. Of course, first of all, around the world, moving from simplicity to sustainability can be implemented in our everyday life, especially today. We have from Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, and even Denmark. We have all these important friends joining us in Taiwan today. They are demonstrating to us their lifestyles. And thirdly, we need originality, which stands for O in Slohas. We are being original, and we are demonstrating our original lifestyles everywhere, so you can feel the differences around the world, and that is our uniqueness. But whether it's original lifestyle or not, ultimately we need to promote human health, because without human health, it's just like 1001. Without the 1 in the end, the 0 means nothing. So 0 means health. Health is from the spiritual and the physical. And crafts is to provide our physical and our spiritual and our mental health, which is why we need to emphasize the word health. And of course, it's not just about health. We need more aesthetics in life to improve our overall life quality, and that's what craft can do, because we have standardization and differentiation in crafts, and the differentiation is all about originality. And around the world, there are original lifestyles that promotes aesthetics and health in life. We move from a simple lifestyle to a sustainable lifestyle. That is what we hope to achieve with Slohas. We hope to build a sustainable craft pattern in the world. In Taiwan, our Slohas starts from slow and Lohas. So we live slowly, we live joyfully, and plus our local concepts, we need to merge everyone. Taiwan is a convergence of cultures. Everything is converged here to form a brand new lifestyle in Taiwan, and we hope to promote such health and aesthetic lifestyle to share our simple and sustainable lifestyle. So S also stands for share, and we hope to really draw more inspirations from around the world to exchange, and this is a very important part of Slohas. So with today's event, we hope to interact with our guests to feel that vibration of emotion and to take action. And ultimately, we would like to promote all craft enthusiasts and consumers to take actions to build a simple lifestyle that is original, that is healthy, that is filled with aesthetics, and is sustainable, and really reach the world. Ultimately, when crafts become a faith for everyone, a belief for everyone, we will have a craft movement. It will never stop. So just like our Matsu making her rounds around Taiwan every year, this has become a cultural belief. It's something we cannot stop. So we hope craft can become like Matsu. It can really draw actions from everyone around Taiwan, around the world, and to really lead the crafts movement. So this is the most important theme of our Slohas International Craft Forum this year, and we hope that this is a picture that we can share with everyone to think about how we can make the world a better place. ESG is good for everybody, for the world, for the earth, for the planet. So today we are holding the International Craft Forum in Taiwan. We are taking craft and taking our institute and everything that's good about them and share them with our guests. And I hope that our foreign guests can share with us what they're doing well in their country, and we can create a sustainably good life. And through the concept of Slohas, we hope to not just talk about theories, because I am personally from the Taipei University of Technology. We know theory is very important, but practice is more important. So the Slohas concept is produced by the Institute, and today the most important event is our forum for us to interact with our guests and to take us into real actions. June to August is the season of Taiwan crafts. It's our Taiwan Craft Festival. And a lot of people ask us why we are holding it on June 5th, but it's because the June 5th is the most important day to start Taiwan Craft Festival. It's because it's not just the craft festival of Taiwan. We hope it can become a day of International Craft Day, because June 5th is a very important day. It's the International Environment Day. Environment is connected with crafts, and I'm sure everyone here agree that our crafts are rooted locally, and different crafts can take different faces in different cultures and environments. So from the perspective of June 5th, an Environment Day, this is why we are promoting June 5th. And also in terms of promoting crafts, the National Taiwan Craft Research and Development Institute is a very important institute in Taiwan that's promoting crafts, and the national treasures are also things that we are promoting. So we are promoting crafts, we are building the industry, and in 1954, Professor Yan Shuilong, in 1954, he started the predecessor of our development institute. So June 5th is also his birthday, so it's become a very important day for us. And we hope that it will become a national day for Taiwan. And we hope that with National Craft Year starting in Taiwan, we can turn June 5th into National Craft Day, which is why we started the Taiwan Craft Festival on June 5th. And it starts from June 1st to August 31st. We hope to share all this good of crafts in Taiwan with everyone. We are building a new brand, and building a craft brand is very important. We need to think about how to turn Taiwan Craft Festival into something that a brand that we can share with the world. And we are going to host a lot of different events during the festival. The design of the logo or the theme and the posters are all design oriented. In the festival, there are, for example, every year we have the June 5th Craft Day. We hope to turn it into a national day. From last year to this year, we have a tour exhibition, and starting this year, we also have a satellite exhibition. These are all biannual. So we are hosting them in 4 parts of Taiwan. The craft tour exhibition is to host exhibitions in different parts and to invite local craftsmen to create. And the satellite exhibition is to invite guests from around the world. We have a QR code for you to scan. You can visit the 38 exhibitions that we have around Taiwan. Ultimately, we would like to build an ecosystem of crafts in Taiwan. So in addition to our our biannual exhibitions. Every year, we will renovate something new. So it's 30% new, 70% permanent exhibition. If you change everything, just like when you're breeding fish, you change 1/3 of the tank and you can keep the fish live and well. But if you change the water completely, the fish will die. So this is the first time we are really you are going to see in the bags that we have presented to you a demonstration of some of the key crafts that we are promoting this year. We also have banquets, and we have 10 talent nurturing courses around Taiwan, in Tainan, in Taipei, in Hsinchu, in Hualien, and even in Nantou Caotun. So we have 10 of these courses provided around Taiwan to really permeate throughout the society. And on the last week of August, which is 29th to 31st, is the Chinese Valentine's Day and the Lunar Valentine's Day. And there will be a very important exhibition that sees a convergence of all the events that we have held throughout the 3 months. So we want to move people with all of these events that we are holding, and we hope to share the beauty and the happiness of crafts with everyone. Ultimately, we hope to turn it into a crafts movement. That's how we will be able to revive the industry. That last year, we want to live the industry and bring life back into the industry. So I would like to thank all of our staff for spending so much time on this topic. Once we have systemized everything, we will go through exhibitions, events, markets, and tours and exchanges to share with everyone. Right now, we have 5 main theme exhibitions and 33 satellite exhibitions. I would like to thank Director General Chen. The Cultural Heritage Center is also a Bureau of Cultural Heritage is also part of our exhibition venue as well. These are, even Kingman has an exhibition. So make the most of this summer holiday and start collecting the points and to see our different venues around Taiwan. So these are the events that we will be holding. And right now, we are hoping to collect these points. If you can, we want to make it fun and beneficial. So we would like to thank our industry for supporting us with different souvenirs and bonuses for people to collect and to exchange and to change them into gifts. So if you scan a QR code, you can participate in this event. We are using Line Ad for people to find it useful. So we are collecting stamps right now. Also, we would like to thank the minister for joining us. This year is not just the festival, it's also the year of national craft in Taiwan. In the future, Taiwan will not just be an island of technology, but also of crafts. this is our CV for our festival. Craft is diversified using various medium and materials. So that's from last year. So we would like to thank everyone for your support so we can do this together. And later, Mr. Chen Junliang will talk about our future exhibition. You can see this is our entrance, and we're hoping that we can move through the 3 stages of slow to really share the beauty of crafts. We have different, come and visit Caotun. We have 4 stories of exhibitions. You can see on the 2nd and 3rd floor is about everyday life, and the 4th floor is the sustainability of crafts. In addition to our institute, most importantly is we have exhibitions around Taiwan. This is also an exhibition from one of the bureaus of the Ministry of Culture, and this is from the History Museum, and this is the Taipei City government. This here also at Taipei City government. In the interest of time, I am quickly going through all of these for you to see. These are the different exhibitions we are holding around Taiwan. We hope that you will be able to see the different crafts in different parts of Taiwan. And the most important part of our satellite exhibition is to showcase the different types of crafts in every part of Taiwan. So join us online at, you will be able to find the venues and all the details of these exhibitions. There are lots and lots of them. So I would like to thank from central government to local governments and even private organizations, everybody's working together. And even in the prehistory museum in Taidong. So these are our satellite tours exhibitions, and these are in Kingman and our outlying islands. In addition to these satellite exhibitions, we also have our Taiwan Craft Festival. And in the interest of time, you will be able to find all of these videos online. So June 5th will become a very important day for Taiwan, and I hope with Professor Yan Shuilong's looking over us, we will be able to turn June 5th into a very important day in Taiwan, and we would like to thank the support of everyone. In June 5th, June 6th, we also issued and launched new stamps. We also have banquets. Currently, we have a talent fostering workshop, and it takes place in 4 parts of Taiwan. This is our forum today, and this is Let's Craft, which is a tour. We hope to take people on to 100 different routes to really to see the crafts and to bring public benefits, and ultimately to turn crafts into all of our public literacy. And this year, it will be held in Yilan. we hope to bring everyone together. We work with Korea and Japanese craftsmen to really exchange with us. And these are some of the events from last year. So last year, we have speakers and craftsmen from different worlds, and we are having more this year. And finally, we hope to really turn the cultural craft, into like a symphony, because crafts, they play their own instrument and they play their own tunes locally, but it's very difficult to bring them to the international stage. So we hope to bring them together and harmonize them, so we will be able to present a symphony of Taiwan crafts to share with the world the patterns and the styles of Taiwan. And finally, I would like to end with this song, The Black Dog on the Mountain. Here you can see everyone singing their tunes, but they are in sync. And I would like to wish everyone online and on site, we hope together we will be able to permeate and to really penetrate the lives of everyone, and to bring back all the inspirations from around the world, and to share all the beauty and happiness in crafts. On the right-hand side is the Line app. Scan it, and you will be able to find it in your brochure. I wish this firm a great success. Thank you, everyone.
分享，谢谢。那么接下来呢，我们要欢迎自由落体股份有限公司董事长陈俊良陈老师为我们带来主题台湾工艺慢活未来展。那请大家给热烈掌声，让他带来精彩的分享，欢迎。
The next speaker is Chairman of Great Image Design, Chen Junliang, and he's going to talk about Taiwanese Craft Slow Living Future Exhibition. Director, distinguished guests, good morning. So for our friends in the craft circle, do you mind that I turn off 2 rows of lights? Because it's quite a pity that we cannot see very clearly the presentation slides very clearly by the presenter before me. So I think that would be a shame that if you cannot see the slides very clearly. So I would like to ask the staff to turn off 2 rows of lights for me. I only have limited time, around 20 to 30 minutes, to share with you these annual exhibition, the 7+1, the one of the pavilion I'm in charge of, which means that the English translation is crafting future. So in Mandarin, that the future also is written in the word that is position. So that means that I would like to reposition the future of craft, and we are doing this for everyone. May I have someone to click the slide for me? Or I need to do it myself? Can you help me go to the next slide? So this is crafting future, but in Chinese, the translation, the word is also position, to reposition the future of craft. The process of life is craftsmanship. The forefront of craftsmanship is life, because craftsmanship pushes the boundaries of our life. So the forefront of craftsmanship is life. This is the very important core spirit of the exhibition I curated. So the director before me has mentioned about slow has the motto repeatedly. So it's slow, and then also it's about public good. So slow work can give you good work. So slow hus means joyful living, but also slow living, or it's a slow living leading to a joyful life. So what touched me the most is that I was involved in this project. We have the craft artists from around Taiwan. I have been to their studios. In the past, we talked to each other maybe over phone or with internet. But this time, I had the opportunity to visit them one by one, and I witnessed in first person their passion for this slow living and joyful living. So this is the theme and also the visual design of this exhibition. And this design of the logo echoes the design of one of our craft artists, made by works made by bamboo. So this is the entire origin story of the exhibition and the festival. So the director has covered that in detail. I'm going to skip that. So the exhibition centers around the core concept of returning to essence of craft. And you are going to have a lot of time after our forum today to visit this exhibition. Please go to Tainan. You still have around 2.5 months time, because I have a lot of friends who have visited the exhibition for 5 times already. And they told me that every visit entailed different observations. So I have put together the statistics of the exhibition. Among more than 100 exhibitions I have curated, this one I think is the most significant one. So we have around 108 craft artists. So we have actually over 125 craft artists. So it's all together, and then we have more than 1,800 pieces. So this requires a lot of efforts and commitment in making sure all the insurance is in place. So we have actually nearly 2,000 pieces in this exhibition over a period of over 100 days. So the exhibition period, the exhibition period is around 2 months, over 2 months. So what matters the most is that we actually didn't put in a lot of investment in our interior decoration, which is aligned with the ESG values. So we only have 5 to 8% of the room in the gallery are interior designed. So this is a very ESG aligned exhibition. All the decoration is made with all the art craft we have on display. And then you are going to walk into galleries of more than 5 craft artists. So I have a name of 30 different craft studios. So I have visited 55 craft artists for this exhibition. This is the list of all the artists involved for the exhibition. So I actually carve out a space of up to 75% of our middle tier craft artists, because a lot of people ask me from overseas that why we only see old people as your craft artist. So I don't think that is the fact. We do believe that we have a lot of middle-aged craft artists. So I did this on purpose to have 75% of the artists are the middle-aged artists. And then also for the emerging young students in also craft arts, we have 15% of them. And then 10% of these artists are the living national treasures from Taiwan. And for our institute, which has been around for 10 years, so it's for the first time they made the 3 floors available. So on the second floor, it's safeguarding the craftsmanship, and it also means craftsmanship in Chinese. So they do the work not only by their hands, but they also safeguard the craftsmanship. So this is the floor plan of the exhibition gallery. You would enter into the second floor. That will be the starting point of your visit, because the first floor is actually the administrative office of the Research and Development Institute. And the volunteer who gives you a tour is going to give you a wristband that would give out the scent of bamboo, because we want to include the scent into our craftsmanship, because craftsmanship covers every aspect of our life. So this is the layout of the floor plan. So each part represents one hand. This is the exhibition. So we have this works on display, more than 100 different hands and arms with different hand gestures. Pointing upward and downward. So each one of the hands hold the tools of our artist. Without the tools, we won't be able to do our work. It's not we start everything from scratch. The scissors and all the hammers are very important partners to our work. Therefore, for the first floor of the exhibition, I put on purpose the tools used by the crafts artists on display, and these are the artists' pictures of the artists in the middle of their work. And also, I want to highlight the whole idea of the importance of the hands work. And this is Su Jian'an, the artist, is the first one who has from Taiwan, who have been to all the prominent exhibition venues around the world. For example, he has been to France, to Louvre, to exhibit the headdress he made for sea goddess Mazu. This is another artist. This is artist Qiu Jingduan. I believe for all of you here, you know them very well already. This is also another mid-career artist. And this is Zhang Zhongyu, who helped me to make all the hands on display. I have over 80 slides, so I have to go very quick through them. Again, one slide down, one slide down, keep it going, one slide down, one slide down. And here are the 100 hands, and also I have the tools on display. So the one is hammer, and the hammer is very important. I have put it down in insurance with the insured amount up to 1 million TWD. And then, so 150 years ago, when the Japan Emperor Meiji was building his seasonal palace, this is the hammer used for that construction. So we need to borrow the tools from these crafts artists. So there are 100 hands exhibiting these tools. So the photo to the left are those of rust tools, so are different materials. So the artist collected all these different rusted tools or materials. Therefore, when we have these tools on display, when we put all these tools in these hands, that gives souls to the exhibition. It's so weird. It seems that we are bringing the life or spirits of the craft artists back to the exhibition once we have tools put in their hands. And this is the yarns used by another artist. This is the scissor that one of the artists insisted to be put on display. without the scissor, the artist said that it's not going to, the works would not be possible. So this is actually a very old-fashioned, old-style scissor. So the artist insisted to have the scissors on display. The artist even called me that and the artist was in tears when he or she insisted having the scissors on display. So this is the third floor layout. So we use bamboo to connect different exhibition items. For example, the bamboo weaved items. For example, the doors and the windows, we have combined them together with bamboo. So this is the bamboo installations. So you see different phases of the bamboo. They even use the bamboo charcoals. And this is actually the entire team that has worked for Hermes in Taiwan. You can see the installation is very beautiful. And then the wind will come through from below, and the wind is going to weave through the bamboos and give vibration and sound. So that would be the installation we put at the entrance of the third floor. So from second floor to the third floor, you are going to work in spirals. The ramps is going to take you into the third floor. So it's actually quite a challenge to put the exhibition on in a heritage building, because this is actually a building with lots of corners. When you enter this exhibition room, I think this is the most Instagram favored exhibition room. So this is the work done by Qiu Jingduan. And then we have matched two artists to work together. However, it was until the opening day of the exhibition, the two teams met up. So this is one of the works done by the two teams. So you can actually see this tea scent cups. And also, I asked the two artists work together, so you can actually see the lamp and also the teacups put together. So I'm going to zoom in for you. So the room is quite small, so these silverwares and also jadewares are quite precious. So I put them on the third floor because they're quite precious. And this is the different exhibition gallery. We're putting different kinds of varieties of flowers. There are 6 varieties of flowers. So we have these flowers on display because inside our institute, the real flowers are not allowed. So we have these mimic flowers put up in place. This is the 4th floor. The theme is tea banquet. We have 12 plus 1 different setup of tea banquets. This is the first scene you are going to see when you walk into the 4th floor. This is the January tea banquet. So including the light, the fabric, the textile, or plant dye textiles, and also the structure of the lights are the team put together by Qiu Jinglai. They have invited artists from Tainan to work on these different chandeliers and lights. And this is January tea banquet display. And the challenge for this exhibition is that we have nearly 2,000 pieces of works, and I actually scattered them in different parts in the corners of the exhibition. Not the works by the same artist would be put and displayed in the same space. So that is actually quite a stressful approach, because when we put them on display and on the floor, a contractor actually told me that because we have already insured all these pieces of works, and then we have the insurance company sending out professionals to help us to package and safeguarding all these pieces. This is February tea banquet. You can see that we have works made by over 20 artists. This one slide down, next. Next, 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 next. This is December tea banquet. And you have these theme of rich harvest. We also include a lot of indigenous elements. And this is the 12+1. That is the +1 part. We want to still convey the vibe of Aloha's slow living. So we actually have the entire studio set up by one artist. And we actually ship these settings with truck all the way from eastern part of Taiwan. This is the work, the cabinet used by the artist, and also the bamboo series by Wei Songke. And this is work done by young artist by Kelly. This is the panels by lacquered wood, and this is the panels of the wood structure. And because airtight window structure allow you to play with it, it will give you different kind of results. Next. This is the digital poster of the exhibition. We have 12 different editions. Next. And this is the part of the 入灯旗. So we also have lamps, roadside lamps. So we also have, so these are the poster advertisement flags for the road sign. So we have also 12 different editions, and they are put on display at different parts of the city and the town. So I'm not going to have all the posters and the flag design all the same. I would use work by many different artists. So on 1st of June, this is our opening day souvenir for our distinguished guests. And this is the mineral water. We want to make this mineral water to convey a very boutique vibe. So when you come to the exhibition, you can actually talk to one of our coordinator, whose name is Xiaohe, and then our coordinator, our staff is going to give you one bottle. So this, you can continue to reuse this bottle as a water container. And this is the scent we developed specifically for this exhibition. We want to convey the scent of craftsmanship. Of course, this is limited edition only for the opening day to our guests invited, for our VIPs. It seems that one slide is missing. Did we skip one slide? It's okay. Yeah, I think we just skipped one slide. So we have lots of people helping us to make this event possible. Therefore, for this public event, I cannot thank them all. Therefore, I put them all on the slides. And these are a lot of supporters. They are lots of brands which support crafts art. So we want to make these crafts artists enjoyable and then make these works alive, because for these artists, they have lots of these beautiful objects and tucked away in one corner of their studios, but they didn't really market their objects. I know that our artists are not making a good living with their work. Therefore, my purpose for the exhibition is to give visibility to these artists so we can have more enterprise supporters to support and endorse these artists. These are our media partners helping us to have media coverage. So from yesterday, maybe we started to see some of the stories and coverage that is going to last into next week. So I cannot actually mention all the participating studios one by one. So ask the studios to give me their logos so I can present them during my presentation. So for this exhibition, it's The curatorial concept and idea is very simple. I only have one goal, even I have lots of pieces involved, lots of artists involved. The only core spirit is that continued use is the most meaningful form of inheritance to carry on the legacy. You need to be able to possess the objects so that you can pass it on to future generations. So this is the spirit I would like to share with everyone through the exhibition. Thank you very much for your attention.
讲哦，那
We'd like to thank all of you for sharing your inspirations with us. We will now take a 10-minute break. We have refreshments prepared outside. I would also like to remind you of something very important. There is going to be a little deviation in our agenda because there is a sudden notice from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. There will be electricity shortage back then, and there will be no electricity provided here from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. So we will be inviting you to stay outside for half an hour, and later on we also have speakers from abroad. So if you need translation services, don't forget we have interpreting headsets provided outside for you to rent. Don't forget to swap it with your ID, and there will be no food or drink inside the venue.
If you'd like to get the translation machine, the translation earphones, please go to the area beside the exit. And also, due to Taiwan Electricity Company, here there's going to be an accident of the electricity during 1:30 to 2 in the afternoon. So if you'd like to take a break at then, since the AC will cut out at this venue, so remember to go outside to take a break. Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation. See you all later after 10 minutes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guests from around the world, we will now resume our agenda. To start with, we are inviting our Director General Chen Jiming, Bureau of Cultural Heritage, Ministry of Culture, as our moderator. Hello, everyone. We've heard from Free Image Mr. Chen Junliang earlier on. Every time I hear from him, I feel inspired, especially when he said that these crafts needs to be used often for better heritage. Of course, this is a very inspiring talk. How do we make sure that everybody can continue to love and use the craft is the issue. So, which is why in the very beginning, I also mentioned about how to turn this into an industry. But to turn this into an industry, this is very important. How do we really turn it into an industry? These are all very important issues. So today in our forum, as Director Chen mentioned about after he took office in the institute, he has promoted many events. All of these crafts events. And today our theme is Slohas. Is we know that crafts is based in traditions, and as President Chen mentioned earlier on, I felt that it looks very modern. Everything looks very modern, looks very international. The aesthetics and the designs are ample, but it's built on very traditional elements. So he knows many national living treasures, and he's building all of this from a localized perspective and to turn it into something that's beautiful and filled with aesthetics and design elements. And we also talked about living national treasure. The Ministry of Culture, according to the Act of Cultural Heritage Preservation, we have many important and significant traditional crafts registered, including the bamboo weaving, the traditional wooden crafts, or even the carvings and the decorations of these goddess sculptures. These are all registered as important traditional crafts according to our act. And these preservers, they can really embody these traditions and crafts, and we call them living national treasures. How do we make sure that these living national treasures can pass on the heritage and the cultures? And that is what our apprentice program is all about. We want our future generation to understand the value of these cultural heritage context, the aesthetics, and be able to be inspired for design and creation during these traditions. Of course, our crafts are modern and traditional. We need to understand its historical value, its aesthetics, so that the general public can really love these crafts from the bottom of their heart, and to really be willing to spend money to buy these things and to support the creation of these crafts, so that we will be able to build a upstream cluster. So the upstream cluster would be composed of designs, and the downstream would be consumers. So today, following Mr. Chen's talk, this talk, we're talking about looking into the future, and we have invited 3 speakers from Japan, Nordic and Denmark, and Thailand. I would like to introduce them and then invite them to the stage later on. First of all is the Professor Arisumi Mitamura, Honorary Professor at Tokyo University of the Arts, and the 10th generation heir of the Atsuka School of Edo Makier. His keynote, The Genealogy of Edo Makier Future Prospects, will guide us through the historical context of Edo Makier crafts, exploring its lineage and considering how this traditional art can continue to shine in the present and future. So he will be our first speaker, and our second speaker is from Denmark, living in Taiwan, is Mr. Gideon Lowy, founder and CEO of Nordic Design Consultancy Company Limited. We welcome him. He will present creativity, connection, and sustainability, envisioning the future of Taiwan's cultural and creative values. He will share how he uses international perspectives and design thinking to connect Taiwanese crafts, culture, and sustainability concepts, opening new possibilities for Taiwan's cultural and creative industries. Mr. Gideon has resided in Taiwan for 22 years, and he has a Taiwan ID, so we consider him a Taiwanese as well. We would like to thank him for speaking for us today. Our third speaker is the Deputy Chief Executive of the Sustainable Arts and Craft Institute of Thailand. Her name is, I might butcher the pronunciation, but I will try. Singhawi Bun. She say that we can just call her Pon. Pon. Welcome, Pon. Her keynote is entitled Impact Beyond Crafts, Nurturing Thai Crafts to Thai Global Trends, exploring how Thailand, through education, design, and international connections, enabling crafts not only to remain in cultural memory, but also to step out onto the global stage and become part of the worldwide trends. And I think in this session, looking into the future, we have speakers looking at this from different perspectives and sharing with us their thoughts. So without further ado, we would like to invite our first speaker, Professor Arisumi Mitamura, on stage.
Remote controller.
Okay.
Do you get here the remote controller?
Okay.
If you like to switch sides.
はい。皆様こんにちは。三田村有澄と申します。
Your earphones.
It's clear. あ、そうね。
You want to take it off?
It's clear.
Careful.
はい。大家好，我是三田子。
Hello, everyone. I'm Arisumi Mitamura. From now on, I'm going to switch to English. I could only speak a little bit of Mandarin. So can I speak in Japanese? Good morning, everyone. I am going to share with you the Edo Makier art because I am the 10th generation heir of the craft. I'm going to share with you with several perspectives because I'm the heir of this Makier art. So I would like to share with you how we have gone so far. And also, we would like to share that how we pass on the baton to the next generation. That will be the second main point I would like to make. And in the future, I would like to share you our future roadmap. And the future plan has to do with Taiwan. Also, we will have connections with the world, especially when it comes to the craft art of Makier. How do we make that a World Cup legacy? Now on the screen, I show you the legacy and the genealogy from the first generation of Akatsuka school of Makier. You can see on the screen the 7th generation. We have Jitoku Akatsuka. And from the 7th generation heir to the 8th generation, we have the name switched from Akatsuka to Mitamura. The 7th generation heir was my grandfather because my grandfather didn't have his own child. So my grandfather was adopted by Akatsuka family to inherit the legacy. And the father of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, was operating his own business. He was the fourth boy in his own family, my great-grandfather, and the family business was inherited by the third son and also the oldest son of the family. Therefore, the fourth son, which was my grandfather, was adopted by Akatsuka family and also entered into the Akatsuka school. So now I'm the 10th generation. I have 3 children, and in the future, my children will inherit this family tradition in different forms. We can see the 8th generation. Like I said, that my great-grandfather's family had his own business. So it was the 30th year of Meiji era and to the 40th year of Meiji era. And during the Meiji era in Japan, we have a lot of traditional crafts in Japan. My grandfather, he was actually in the old printing trade. To only preserve the printing trade is not enough. We need to he thought that we needed to explore different ways to not only preserve the old crafts, to ensure the legacy into the future generation. Therefore, my grandfather's generation, they have already been exploring different approaches to preserve and conserve this art trade. So this is the work produced by the 7th generation Jitoku Akatsuka. You can see this is the work that displayed the Edo's unique Makier skills, but they also blended in the school's unique own elements. For example, the butterfly pattern. You see flower and butterflies, and that give you a story, a narrative with the butterfly and flower that gives you a microcosmic world. So that was the 7th generation's work by Jitoku Akatsuka. And into the 8th generation, that is my own grandfather, Jiho Mitamura-san. And Mitamura-san inherited the art skills of Akatsuka, as well as all the tools for the makie making. All the tools are inherited by our family, that is the Mitamura family. Last year, we had an exhibition that gives you the works produced all the way from different generations, all the way from the Meiji era to Taisho era to Showa era to Heisei era and the Reiwa era. So you can see the works by my grandfather and my own father. On this slide, you can actually see our family motto of Mitamura family. So the first important family value is that we should seek inspirations from other places, which means that even we have the same skills, we have the same sensibility, but if we only stick to the old rules, we won't be able to make innovations possible. For example, my grandfather, he was from a business of the printing house. It used to be a booming business. However, due to interchanging of times, that the business went downward. Therefore, at that time, we need to be very flexible in changing our approaches. And the second motto is that we do not copy original design. For example, for the old printing houses, they have been doing the same thing over and over again. Therefore, they got behind in the changing times. So we see a lot of old skills inherited from predecessors. But if you continue to copy the same skills, you won't be able to survive in a new time and a new era. It is very important for you to explore new ideas and new skills. It is very important that when we want to seek something new, you need to also observe that can we be on the forefront of our time? Can we create something that is trailblazing? This is the second motto of our family. We have been upholding since my grandfather's generation. On the picture, this is my grandfather. He actually studied Nihonga, Japanese painting. And he studied Japanese painting for a very long time. He actually went to other painting schools before he adopted Makier. He committed his own life to the life of plants and flowers. And also, he used line drawing to sketch the shapes of flowers and plants. He committed a lot of his efforts in drawing the lines of plants and flowers. When I was studying after him, he also asked me to follow that practice devoutly. So he lived all the way to 93 years old. He taught me a lot of important skills and knowledge about this trade. And I'm going to share with you a lot of different skills. For example, Taka Makie or the Hira Makie, those are the skills he taught me. And also the raised color Takidashi Makie is a new skill he developed. This is the work by my grandfather, Jihou Mitamura. So the skill, by look of it, you can see that they are a lot of traditional elements from the Edo era skills. This is the exhibition we had at the National Museum of the Netherlands. So that was the work by my grandfather that was on display all the way from the 5th generation to the 7th generation. Many of the European art museums collected the works by my own family, by my father and grandfather. So this is Dr. Yangdes, and he is an expert studying the lacquer art. And you can see, take a deep look at the work. The style is free running. This is the fern leaves, and you can see the patterns by raindrops. You see different postures of this fern. So we capture that very lively image on this box of lacquered ware. So you see and you feel this is like a process in motion. So for our work, we directly portray nature in motion on the box. For this painting, you see the underlying color is not only black, so we actually changed the shades of lacquer base and we use silver powder and gold powder to draw out the lines of the pattern. You can see underneath the screen there is a one screen underneath, so we have the line drawn out with a gold and silver powder before we apply another layer of lacquer. That is a new skill that is developed, which pretty much shed the old tradition taught by the old masters. So you can see the contours of the lines and the outlines of these gold and silver powder give you very vivid patterns. And here on the petals, you see some of the petals in the process of falling, and you can see the heart of the flower. So this is actually portraying the changing seasons of life. So we have the flower that is just blooming or in its bud form. You can see in the same picture the changings of the plant's life. So, like I said, my grandfather is an expert in line drawing. So he combined different Makier skills in one picture. Now, a lot of European collectors collected the work by my grandfather. My father, at the very beginning, he actually studied the Western oil painting before he has acquired basic skills of oil painting. He entered into the next phase of his artistic creation. He tell also stories of plants, and he also composed his work with two screens. So, like we said, that we have the work of Makier, which is quite a rare skill to be used in the art of Makier.
He also uses different kinds of drawing techniques. And he passed away at his 70s, but my children, his grandchildren, did not get to meet him. So in his works, I interpreted some of his thoughts in his techniques and shared them with my children. Here you can see the works of my father. Here you can see it's collected in the Holland National Museum. There are many national museums in Holland. For example, in Amsterdam, they have collected his works. Here you can see there is a base. I have a base print here, and I can compare them with the work in Amsterdam. I have the basic print of my father's works, and I was able to compare them with a lot of the works that are housed by these European museums. For example, this was created by my father in 1964 during the Tokyo Olympics, and you can see there's a flower and two butterflies here, and we can see he's actually overlapping the two images so that it's a double layered screens. My father was born in the second year of Taisho, and they have different drawing techniques, and they use these in the Makier. My father also used the Jinking technique. So you can see there is a small, so they dig a little hole and bury gold powders, and there is also a lighting fixture work at the Nihonbashi. This was a work by my father when he was about 50 years, because he draws oil paintings. So on his work, he uses the makier with oil painting techniques and using high relief. Here, high relief makier. Here, what he would like to portray is the blossoming flowers. And for flowers to blossom, you need butterflies or bees to pollinate the flowers. Without pollination, the flowers will not be able to blossom or move on and be passed on to the next generation. That's what he would like to express. And this is the 10th generation, which is myself. When I am creating makier work, I would like to share with you, when I was in my second year of elementary school, I have 4 children, and my grandfather used to keep me in his workshop because I am the only male in our family, and my siblings are all sisters, all girls. So I entered the world of makier at the age of 8. So when I was born, my family actually grew lacquer trees. And starting from then, I would spend time with my father and my grandfather, and we would draw the lacquer sap for our ingredient. And we can learn from their experiences. Through lacquer, we can always preserve the work, and it's something that everybody around the world loves. I started learning at 8 years old. I observed the works of my father and grandfather. And like I said earlier on, my grandfather was learned Nihonga, and my father learned oil painting, and I learned sculpting. So I approached makier through sculpting. So I was born in 1949, and I am 76 years old this year. Next, you can see when I very first started, this is my second piece after my debut. When I was at Niden Japanese exhibition, I showcased this work because my father was a judge of panels at Niden, and we wanted to portray something amidst this traditional world, but I created something that's very novel and a completely new worldview. Of course, there were criticisms, but also there were people who said that I started a new trend in this traditional industry. This was my work that I showcased 30 years ago during my very first solo exhibition, and a Taiwan collector bought this piece. This collector now lives in Suzhou in China and has a gallery in Suzhou. This piece is about 90 centimeters big. And this symbolizes a cosmic perspective. And the theme of this work was inspired by the Egyptian pyramid. It was created when I was 30 years old. I visited Egypt when I was 30 years old, and I was inspired, so I created this pyramid shape. When I was in Egypt, I looked at the starry skies, and I thought about how gold, silver, and lacquer can create a cosmic world. So from the pyramid to this are all inspired by Egypt. And this is a work that I used to enter an exhibition in Paris. You can actually, there is the silhouette of a bird. I don't know if you can tell. There is a beak, the bird's beak here. So it's the hollowed part is the shape of the bird, and the remaining part is the wing. What I would like to portray is to combine it's the bird that is connecting the sky and the ground. And there's also a mural here. You can probably feel that my techniques are very different from my father and my grandfather. I created my very own techniques and portrayed my own worldview. In Disney, Tokyo Disney actually collected my work. Now today we're talking about crafts. So I am a craftsman, and I'm the person who created this piece. To have someone who purchased my work and to apply it to daily use, it tells us that crafts can last hundreds of years. Here you can see we have a underlying color of green. When I was creating this piece, I imagined that 300 years later, this will become a very complete piece of work. So what I've created was uncompleted. It will be completed 300 years later. And here we use a lot of other wooden work. These gold leaf works are very different from my father's works. Here you can see I use urushi tenmoku technique, and it's a technique that I created. I really like the technique of tenmoku, and I wanted to portray this kind of sky, so I created this. And back in Europe, during the day, I would see cathedrals, but the sky would be completely dark. So I wanted to portray what I saw back then. Okay, next here you can see I received an award given by the previous Japanese emperor. In Japan, to receive an award from the Japanese emperor, I was the 12th, and the previous 11 awardees have all demised. I am the only one living. Now this is a photograph of me with my father, my grandfather, and my wife. This was taken when I was 29. My wife was 20 years old back then.
ですね。で、工芸家だったんですけど、染色
She was my student when I was teaching at the university, and she is in dye weaving. 2 years later, I was 29. When I was 31, my grandfather passed away, but he participated in our wedding.
まあこの妻と会えたおかげで、
And because I met my wife, so I have 5 children. My daughter is married and now lives in Shizuoka. with my wife and my 4 boys, we will look at how we will take the Mitamura and our style of Makier to share it with the world. First of all, my oldest boy is named Uryu Mitamura, and when he was 15 and I was 48, I was teaching at a university in Japan. I took a year of sabbatical, and I took Japanese Makier to 6 countries in Europe and built Makier as an industry. My first boy was 15 years old, and he accompanied me to Europe. So he didn't attend university. He said he wanted to learn lacquerware. So he learned lacquerware at Iwate Prefecture, Ashido, and Inami, the Toyama Prefecture, and ultimately he studied at Uzame. We can see in 2011 he was trained for 1 year at the APOC Mie Prefecture and was trained in woodworking and lacquer restoration. He also developed a lot of the industry related to Makier. Currently, he is okay. I am running out of time, so I need to step up. So this is his debut work, and this is my second son. My second son is currently a professor at the Kyoto University of Arts. He has had many relevant works, and this is my third son. He has some ongoing projects. We just saw the exhibition in Thailand was assisted by him. So this is the shrine of Mitamura, and my important job is to train my grandchildren. And these are the things that I want to do now. In these things I want to, in Europe, I would like to plant lacquer trees.
様は
We just saw that this is the artist Wang Qingshuang. This is the picture of Mr. Wang Qingshuang. I also hope that friends in Taiwan can actually learn about the art master whose name is Kawato, because he actually contributed a great deal to Taiwan, the Yama Nakako-san. We know that Taiwan's native environment is ideal for the planting of lacquer trees. We also hope to see a promising future in the art making of lacquer. I'm sorry that I took up additional 2 minutes.
我们一起欢迎北欧设计顾问有限公司创办人暨 CEO 陆威教授到台上来演讲。演讲的主题是创意连结与。
We would now like to invite Gideon Lowy, the founder and CEO of Nordic Design Consultancy. Please, with a round of applause, to join me to welcome our speaker, Gideon Lowy, Professor Lowy.
You have to wait for seconds.
Rise time. Okay, 大家好. You hope I'm going to talk Mandarin or Taiwanese, Taiyu? No, I'm going to speak in English. Painse. Okay, thank you for beautiful presentation of lacquer work. When I was a student, I actually studied Japanese architecture and crafts. and I used to be a ceramic artist, but I trained in university to be a designer and architect, and that's my job today for the last more than 40 years. So I run for these 40 years a design company, which is now in Denmark. I opened in 1982, in Taiwan in 2002, 20 years later. And what we do is value creation. Our job is to help other people. One of the slogans of our company is your vision, our mission. So what we do is we help other people to achieve their dreams. This is different from being an artist. And a lot of our work is about strategic services, helping companies. For example, it could be craftspeople to promote their work, or to build projects, or to build houses, or products, whatever. So, is this being moved forward by you or by me? Okay, so we have 4 areas: ideas, stories, object, and spaces. Different kinds of design. Some of the formatting is off, doesn't matter. Consulting. Why is it moving? Could I just finish, please?
This one, this one.
I know.
Maybe when you turn, you misclicked it. So
Painse. Okay, all right. So we do consulting is a very important part of our work, and design is, so we help companies to develop their strategies, we help to understand who they are, and then we do all the different kinds of design, whether it's products, packaging, showrooms, graphics, logos. We do all of that so that they can bring their business to the next level. And I'm going to apply that to the crafts sector. Today, our company is, the owner is my wife, and she's a consultant, mainly, she's also a consultant for the Ministry of Culture and Economy, and for Taichung government, and for the Crafts Center. And I also do this kind of work, but for Taichung government, I don't work for the ministry, and for the Crafts Center. So we have a lot of experience in visiting hundreds of different kinds of businesses and craftspeople in Taiwan to get an overview of what's happening in industry and business in Taiwan. So what we have done is, in earlier years, we visited many, many different crafts companies or crafts studios in Taiwan to help to certify which ones could become, it's called E-certification. So we visited and talked to many different craftspeople, and we find out that as a traditional industry, it is difficult for craftspeople to survive. What it is when we see this beautiful work, for example, from Japan, of lacquer work, we know crafts has become closer to art than to the making of everyday objects. And this ambiguous position in our culture makes it very difficult for craftspeople to actually survive doing crafts as a business. So the world has also changed a lot since crafts was the way that things were made in the pre-industrial society. And I'm going to go through that and show you how. So as consultants, we see the crafts sector from outside, and we see crafts business from outside, and both of them in relationships to developments in other countries, other sectors, and in businesses. So I'm going to try and have an overview of what actually happens. Craftspeople focus on what they do. Crafts business on how they do the business. And to understand the sector, we must ask why things are changing. why it is difficult for crafts to survive as a vibrant job or profession in today's society. So I'm going to give you the summary of what I'm going to talk about today right now so that you know what I'm going to talk about. From my thinking in recent years, what is a really big problem, especially for young people, is to understand the difference between fake and real. The internet, especially since we have AI and all kinds of tools for making fake images, it's difficult to know what is real and what is not real. Young people, and I teach in university, so I have for the last 20 years in Taiwan, I've met a lot of young people, and they're getting lonelier and lonelier and more isolated from reality, more difficult to connect to other people because the digital world doesn't tell them about reality. And what is really important is that to be credible, relevant, and valuable, craftspeople themselves must be real artisans. They must be genuine, make genuine things, handmade things, and the crafts brands must be honest and authentic about their storytelling. What we find is that in the crafts, in this beautiful exhibition that's ongoing in Tainan, but craftspeople are moving crafts, the young people are moving their work closer to design and industrial production than towards art. Some go towards art, but there's a trend in order to cost down to have things that are mass-produced and have less cultural value. So we have the fake, which is impersonal, and then we have, and is purpose-driven, and we have the personal story of the crafts, which is driven by passion. And these two things end up in two completely different economies and two different ways of doing crafts and thinking about the future. So this is my conclusion. Of course, it's a very personal conclusion, but from visiting so many people, I can see that there's torn between these two poles of actually making something that can be sold, because a lot of people who go to visit craftspeople, they only have a very limited budget. They don't see the value of, it's become a tourist attraction. They don't see the value of putting many, many hours into making something beautiful. They want to buy, they go to a department store, they can buy a bowl for a tenth of the price that they have to pay in a crafts workshop. So this is something that's really difficult. As crafts is one of the cultural and creative industries, being part of an industry means that craftspeople are running a business. And that's really, really difficult, especially as they have no training. Craftspeople are not trained in business schools. They don't take extra courses in business in order to become a craftsperson. Maybe they can do that along the way. But what is really important in business is your value proposition. A value proposition is, what are you doing for the customer? In crafts, we tend to focus on our own expression, on the beauty that we create ourselves and whether we like what we're doing or not. But we don't think so much of what are the customers looking for? What value are we bringing to them? Are we bringing something beautiful into their life? Or are they just passing by and visiting a crafts shop and taking a souvenir home? Because their budget is very small. Usually the mass of people who visit crafts workshops, the budget is very small and they only sell a few things. Most of the time is spent talking together, building a relationship and a friendship, but the sales are lacking. So what is the value of craftspeople? We have two kinds of value creation: traditional cultural values and contemporary personal artistic expression. So this is the cultural continuity and connection, and this is cultural connection and creativity. Those are the two basic values that craftspeople bring to society. Okay, connection and relevance to customers. We can see that a lot of the actual, when you go to visit a craftsperson, a lot of the time is spent making human connection. Talking about the work, talking about their lives, and then they hope that these objects that they're making are relevant to the lives of the people who are visiting them. And connection and relevance is the very, very big core problem of craftspeople. Because how do crafts connect to people's lives today? And how relevant is the things that we used to do to younger people today who live in a completely different kind of society? Is the story that craftspeople are telling their customers valuable, real, and relevant to today's industrialized, digitalized, globalized, knowledge-based, high-tech service society? So I'm going to show you, is the narrative credible? When we talk about Slohas, how much does that connect to ordinary people's lives? I met on the way to here, I met a young man who was carrying a cat like this in a box, and I was thinking, would he buy crafts, would he visit a crafts studio? Is his life commuting on the high-speed train with his cat, is that relevant? And what is the connection between this kind of life that young people are living today and the values of crafts? So I'm going to talk about that change creates both development and disconnection. And so I'm going to go through what's happened in Taiwan since the 1950s. So here, on the one side, we have the pre-industrial stage. This is the stage before the First World War, where things are driven by, tradition. Here, know what to do, production, people, and the labor of their hands. And this was 400 years of history in Taiwan. And then after the Second World War, especially from 1950 to 1970, we have the first Taiwan miracle. So this is manufacturing, the focus on skills, light industry, and the big entry of machines into life in Taiwan. And the people who are from that generation are 50 to 70 years old today. In industry too, we have the heavy industry coming up in the 1970s to 1990s, and the knowledge, the know-how knowledge, and the people here are 30 to 50 years old today. And in industry 3, where we begin to have IT and robotics, the people are up to 30 years old today, the people who were born during that time. And so we move from agriculture to manufacturing to industry to information to service society to understand people and know why, and network and big data and A&I and things like that. That's our next step. And then there's industry 5, which is the next thing that's being predicted, and that's about integration of all of these things into a sustainable future. And here we move from skills to innovation to talent and leadership. So we've moved a long way in 70, 80 years. A long, long way from this traditional society where crafts was the way that things were made. You crafted wood, you crafted bowls, you crafted everything had to be handmade. And it's the cultural value. Do we have a connection? Is there a continuity to those things today? So here we have crafts industry, and here we have creative industry. So cultural creative industries were invented in the UK around in the late 1990s and in the 2000s as a new way of educating people, not apprenticing people, but educating people to do creative jobs. And here we have tradition, physical capital, human capital, and intellectual capital. These, we've moved so far away from doing things with our hands to doing things with our brains. And the question is, has the continuity and connection been lost, or has the creativity simply been repurposed? We're using the same creative capacity to do new things. So how did it happen? I have proposed a second Taiwan miracle, both the first industrial economic miracle and the social cultural miracle. So we all know that in the 75 years from 1950 to 1925, we have stages. We have the OEM economy here, started in the 1960s. We have the heavy industrial economy and the privatization happening here. And then we have the WTO in 2002, the World Trade Organization, and semiconductors, and we have a service economy. Here you can see in 1950, 35% of our economy was agriculture, and here 73% is services. So now we're living in a value-added innovation of IP and creativity. It's a long way to come in a very short time. In this time, we had a vertical top-down country. We had a martial law, and then it moved, the power moved to the big industries and the rich people who created the wealth that we have today. And then in the 1990s, we built a democratic infrastructure. And in the end, now we have an inclusive, horizontal, and democratic society. So we've moved from a vertical authoritarian society to a diversity and equality, a platform, a network of Taiwan. We also moved in these years from poverty to prosperity. So we have had higher economic success and higher education. I'm going to show that. Here we have our GDP from 1950 to the latest I could find was 2018, but we can see that in these stages, we moved from 6 million people, 10 million people, 20 million people, 23 million people. In fact, in the 100 years since 1925, we've added 20 million people to our population in Taiwan. In that time, you can see that here, in 1950, the GDP per person was $170, and it is now $53,000. That means that in 75 years, we 4 times the population and the GDP 300 times. However, to remain competitive, wages have lagged behind company profits since 1995. So ordinary people do not feel that we are so rich. The wealth is in the industry, our power to do things, not in our power to buy things. So here we have the generations. And this is what we're facing when we're facing how craftspeople are going to meet their clients. We have the people born before the Second World War, the traditionalists, then we have the baby boomers, the Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Z, and we can see how old they are and that we're now educating a generation of younger people. These are the people who are in the workplace, 3 generations who cannot speak together. The first were educated in crafts and skills. Then we upgraded and we got from skills to knowledge, and from our second upgrade from innovation to creativity. And now we're educating a generation in the schools who have science and culture and the liberal arts, so we're mixing STEM and arts together. They are going to be thinking and working very, very differently, because the two first generations, they don't say very much. The second generation, they begin to express themselves, and the third ones are complete individualists. So they're very difficult to talk to each other. So we have the flip side of the two Taiwan miracles, the cultural, the economic, and the cultural. Since 2000, we have developed our own culture in Taiwan. It's become vibrant and world-leading. That's the reason why I live here. It's one of the most exciting and adventurous countries in the world in my experience, and I've lived and worked in many places. But I can see that there's a huge lack of continuity between generations, culture and values. Young people do not know the life that their grandparents live. They do not even know, most of them, what their parents do. There's very little cultural communication in Taiwan. And there's a lack of connection between culture, people, and objects. And that is a discontinuity between people and their cultural environment, which is isolation, and disconnection between people and their physical environment, which is insulation. When we were young, most of us, we could take something to pieces and repair it. Now, young people have no idea how things are made. They cannot use their hands to do anything to help themselves. They don't even cook. And yet they need to understand what it takes to make a beautiful object. How many hours do you spend to create one box? How long does it take to make even just a rice bowl from scratch, from clay, making it, drying it, glazing it, burning it, all of these things? It takes time, and it means you need to have this capacity to understand the value of the time that's embedded in something. But if your life is just a smartphone, which you never could take to pieces, you don't know how it's made, you don't know what's inside, there's a disconnect. And that's one of the things I can see is a huge problem. Crafts should not become a museum. In fact, we can see from the exhibition, it is not. It's a way of living. And Slow House is a way of living. But its value is in not being what is everything else. It's not industrialized, it's not impersonal. It has to have these extra qualities. So this is two major issues, cultural issues in crafts today. So crafts can provide a link that reconnects life with authenticity. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, there's been a huge amount of talk internationally about the lack of authenticity in the world today. So the human touch is becoming more and more valuable. It's not as crafts, it's the aspect of culture and art in our lives, of beauty and aesthetics. So where images are fake, where identities are facades, and where digital services are impersonal, crafts has to have new stories, that are true and relevant, human relationships which are real, and crafts objects which are genuine. This is the power and the value creation that crafts offers. Yeah, I saw it, it's okay. So focus on efficiency and the focus on authenticity. The world of AI and social media, where most people live most of their lives, and then the rebuilding of trust and credibility in things like crafts. So here we have the old hard economy value, which is how Taiwan works. This is what is the power of Taiwan. This is what makes us the sixth most competitive country in the world and the second most innovative country. So here is purpose and efficiency. And we've measured in satisfaction and price, and our aim is always cost down. The new soft value economy is a focus on brand, experience, and customer relations. And it is the quality of what we are giving to other people and the niche that we are developing. So here is passion and authenticity, connection and resonance. How much do we build together with the other people and the value up? These two things are in complete disconnect, because here we can see passion and people, product and purpose, process and innovation. What we have done in Taiwan, I have to hurry because the time is there, is that this part, our whole country, is built on this. But we would like to preserve the quality of life over here. Here we have one-off and a batch of things. Here we have a focus on solutions. And here we have machines and process and the scale of market, mass production, and global presence. TSMC could never survive if it was handmade. So here we have the different parts of the Slohas philosophy: originality and culture, originality, lifestyle and aesthetics, simplicity, sustainability and health, and future orientation. And of course, these things have to work together. It's the integration of life that's important. It's not the differentiation, it's the integration that gives us the life that we have. So here we have applied arts on the one side, and storytelling, intimacy, closeness, and here the applied science, which is what all of our universities, almost all of our universities do, is train the young people in this area: high value sales, low margin production, crafts, the products and the services, industry, the products and the services. And then we have the new creatives in between. These are the people who can take low margin production and make it into high production sales. And I would like to just, who knows about Labubu? Everybody? Oh my God. So here we have a phenomenon where we take an industrial product which has a personality, which suggests something about closeness and intimacy and storytelling, and we sell it for an absolutely astronomical price because of rarity value and storytelling. And it's this ability to straddle, to integrate these two different parts of life that has to be part of the new way of doing crafts in Taiwan. Because these young people who are doing the crafts have to learn how to tell the story of the value of what they're doing. So here we know from international trends that in the 1980s, film stars were the heroes, then fashion models, and now sports stars. But the new leaders, opinion leaders, and the powerful people are the creative people from the 2020s, like Taylor Swift, the K-pop, Banksy, Greta Thunberg, and TikTok people, and YouTube people, and many more. These are the people who can get out there and tell their stories, share their messages in a way which is totally and utterly different from the origins and traditions of crafts, but that's the only way to influence the future. So here, I have an old model which I used here: heart, hand, head, hope, and harmony. So what we've got to do is to put all this passion and authenticity, the purpose and the efficiency into something which is closer to design, integration, to create a total value. So here we have 80 years of disconnect. We have the high value personal promise, and we have the low margin impersonal delivery. And down here, we have to integrate these things together to create a Slohas philosophy of crafts in Taiwan. And life is where we discover inspiration, that's creativity. Art is where we express new ideas, that's originality. Crafts is where we experiment, lifestyle and aesthetics, that's what the exhibition is about. Design is where we apply ideas to living, that's simplicity, and technology turns these ideas into reality, sustainability, and healthy future. So this is the map of all of these things put together. Applied new ideas, applied arts, new ideas and applied sciences. And we know this is overrepresented in culture in Taiwan, and this is underrepresented. We do not have enough arts education. We have too much STEM education. And then if we're going to really do this, we have to have a new kind of policy in Taiwan from the government side of how to have a new kind of balance in our life. The more impersonal it becomes, the more we have to focus on the human. And this is my summary. We have the 5 H's here, and then we have the technology, science, art, and passion, and we have Slohas in the middle, and the hard value economy, the soft value economy, the passion, and the purpose over here. And so this is something which is the philosophy of my company, is work for a better future, a better life in a better world. Think new, that's creativity, it requires better understanding. Think different, that's originality, that's more imagination. And think better, that's innovation, deeper knowledge. Make a difference, focus on human values, and do a better business, green crafts. So better life is care more, that's the human touch. Sustainable policies lead to the future. Global connection and impact life. That is my understanding of the idea of Slohas and of the conditions of crafts today as an outsider, and both as I'm not working as a crafts person, but also as a foreigner, looking at the crafts industry in Taiwan as a spectator and observer through visiting so many craftspeople over the years. 谢谢。
好，谢谢陆威教授的精彩演讲。那本场次最后我们会一起欢迎泰国永续工艺美术学院副首席执行长彭女士上台来帮我们演讲。那演讲的主题是超越工艺的影响，培育泰国工艺走向全球潮流。请帮我们热烈掌声欢迎。
And Pom is going to talk about impact beyond crafts, nurturing Thai crafts to global trends. Please join me to welcome Ms. Pom.
Understand when you turn over to see the screen, then the translators cannot hear you.
Okay, I will use this one. Yeah. Swadika. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is not hungry yet because it's very near lunchtime. But my name is Sangrawi Singhaviboon, and I represent SASIT, or the Sustainable Arts and Crafts Institute of Thailand, and we are part of the Ministry of Commerce. So today, my topic that I would like to share with all of you today is impact beyond crafts, and this is what we do in our center, is nurturing Thai crafts to global trends. So let's see what's next for the impact beyond crafts. When we say impact beyond crafts, we are inviting people to look deeper than the surface of handmade object. We are not only just talking about the beauty of the piece or its functionality, we are talking about the emotional and social, cultural, and environmental impact that emerges from the craft itself. So at SASIT, we open our space for everyone who are interested in arts and crafts to come and experience. So when people come to SASIT, our office in Ayutthaya province, very near to Bangkok, it's like 50 kilometers from the center of Bangkok. People who come to the institute, they can learn about culture and also identity and imagination, especially for children. It's a very emotional and educational impact of craft. Also, environmentally, handcrafted production often means low waste processes and natural materials and local supply chains. So impact beyond crafts means seeing craft not just as an object, but as living force that teaches, heals, preserves, and inspires. As we explore the wider impact of crafts, it's very important to share the mission that SASIT guides our member to work together. Our mission, as you can see here, we have 3 missions altogether. The first one is cultivate traditions. We work to preserve and pass on the heritage of Thai crafts, not just the technique, but the stories, the values, and the wisdom. And the second one, inspire creations. We encourage new generations to reimagine Thai crafts, combining traditional techniques with contemporary designs and modern relevance. And the third one, support artisans. This is very important. We provide real support through training, marketing, platform, and also business development so that artisans can thrive not just only artistically, but economically. So these 3 missions here, cultivate, inspire, and support, it works together to ensure that Thai crafts not only survive, but flourish in today's world. As you can see here, in parts of cultivate tradition, a pair of hands carefully punching intricate pattern into cowhide, creating a shadow puppet. This is part of the process that we make the shadow puppet from the south of Thailand. And this is what we mean when we say cultivate traditions. It's not just about preserving the end products, but it is about protecting skills, gestures, the patience and the culture context behind each piece. So at our institute, we work very closely with our master artisan like this one, and we document their processes and support apprenticeship and ensure that the knowledge doesn't disappear with time. Because tradition is not static, it's living, and by cultivating it, we don't just keep the past alive, we prepare it to inspire the future. So that's why our member, over 4,000 to 5,000 members, we categorize them and we targeted them into 3 main categories. The first one is the master artisan of Thailand. So that means that they are very experienced artisan, and they have passed on a very valuable and long heritage of Thai crafts. The second group is the master craftsmen. So these are the group that they pass on their knowledge and skill to younger generation. And the third group is the craftsmen descendants. That means they are the younger generation of those master craftsmen. So in these 3 groups, we work together with them to create a very long and sustainable arts and crafts in Thailand. Our second mission, as you can see, we have the group of the people that we inspire creations, and a well-known craft designer sharing his journey, how he brings Thai craft into modern world to innovation and storytelling. You can see on the top of the slide right there is Mr. Gorakot, or Gorakot International. He is the master, I could say that he is a master designer on bamboo in Thailand, and he's very famous right now. And Saksit has already worked with him since the beginning of his career, and now Mr. Gorakot himself has become internationally accepted. So at Saksit, we believe that creativity is not a talent. It's spark that need the right environment to grow. So that's why we open space for both young designers and students and even children to explore traditional crafts in a playful, experimental way. So that's why we can inspire creations. And it's more than a teaching skill, or it's just like telling a story. It is about nurturing curiosity, confidence, and cultural imagination. So this is how we ensure that Thai crafts don't just survive, they have to evolve, and then this is the way that feel personal, exciting, and relevant to the next generation. The third mission, what we do is the one that we hold it with very deep responsibility, because supporting artisan is, I could say that this is the most important mission that we are doing right now. So on the slide, we see the senior craft master. He is very highly skilled and very highly respected. And he is demonstrating the delicate art of wood carving in an international trade fair. So every year, besides we supporting artisans by providing them the space and also the trainings and other skills, upskill and reskill, we have the trade fair or the commercial side to support, where artisans themselves can share their work with both local and global buyers. So in Saksit, we also believe that craftsmanship should be honored. That's why we create a space where artisans can not only work, but also can demonstrate and teach and also connect. From local market to also international trade fair, we help artisans to step into the spotlight, whether in the trade fair that we organize by ourselves in Bangkok or in Ayutthaya province. We also have international trade fair and attend international events like in London or even in Paris. We support, support is more than only just admiration, but it means that we provide platform and business tools for them, and also the mentorship and also visibility. So when Saksit was invited to speak in this forum, I was introduced to the concept of sloha and philosophy that is proposed by the forum organizer, and I have to say that we deeply resonated with what we do in Saksit. And Sloha blends two beautiful and very powerful ideas together, the slow living and the lohas, or the lifestyle of health and sustainability. Along with this concept, there are 6 values, which I will not explain more because you have already explained that very well at the beginning. But what I like to do is to show how these 6 values come alive through our dedication to preserve and evolving Thai arts and crafts. So in simplicity, as you can see at your first glance, this photo might look very peaceful or even very ordinary, but you see a master artisan. He is making traditional Thai kite. And behind this calm moment is a very deep skill, calculation, and discipline. So the shape of the kite must be perfectly balanced to fly. And so the paper must be precisely cut and tensioned. So this is what we mean when we say simplicity. It's not the absence of complexity, but it is the mastery of it. So in Thai crafts, simplicity is about deep clarity, cultural precision, and also intentional design. And in today's fast-moving world, crafts like this remind us to slow down and to appreciate balance and to value the beauty that comes from restraint. The second value of Sloha is lifestyle. So on this photo tells the story. You see two Thai monks walk through a rice field, honoring and holding monks' arms bowls. So you can see in the photo. These bowls aren't not just spiritual objects. They are also a symbol of Thai daily life, Buddhist practice, and craftsmanship. So traditionally, monks' bowls were handcrafted and only handcrafted by skilled artisans. Each of them will be beaten from metal to by hand and to make a bowl. And right now, only one artisan in Bangkok can do this in this way, in a very traditional way. So life has changed so much craft. That's why we've begun the connection between this last master with the young designer so they can adapt the process while honoring the meaning. The third one is the originality. This one is also one of the most important values that we have promoted over years. On the left, you see a malai. A malai is a traditional Thai flower garland. Normally, this malai is made from fresh flower like jasmine or a lot of petals of roses. But this one is made from colorful crafted bamboo created by an artisan in Chiang Mai province. And her name is Wasana. Wasana is the name of the artisan in Chiang Mai who took a common material like bamboo and reimagined these bamboo stripes into something symbolic, lasting and uniquely hers. So anyone in our region in Thailand, when they see this style, they immediately knows that this is her signature. So originality is not about being trendy. It's about being true to your voice while still speaking the language of tradition. So in Thai crafts, its originality makes a piece recognizable, emotional, and meaningful, even in a changing world. So in aesthetic, the next value is the one that we all recognize, aesthetic. The aesthetic side of this Thai crafts has always been more than what meets the eye, shaped by the hands and speak the heart. Every details like tell the story, belief, and cultural identity. The craft reflect living dialogue between tradition and creativity. The blue ceramic plate right there was made by a designer makers from Pattani province, and his name is Benjameta. The deep indigo that reflects in the slide is the lifestyle of the ocean in southern Thailand. And the ship, the wave, the flow of life, it's all there captured in the glass. So on the right, you see a piece of sculpture furniture that's very much related to what Mitamura Sensei has already mentioned earlier. This year, Satsit also have a focus product, which is lacquerware. So in this photo is the starting of our project this year, is the competition held earlier this year. And the winner prize is the lacquerware furniture sculpture you see on the right. And the technique is mother of pearl inlay lacquer and also gilded lacquer. And this one was made by a very young artisan, a professor in the university. So this is what we mean by aesthetic grounded in heritage, when aesthetic and innovation grow from tradition. And the last one is sustainability. So this one, I think, is perhaps the most urgent for our time. What we have here is the product that may look like just a toilet paper container, but it carries a much deeper message. It's made from recycled plastic, shaped and polished by hand, and the decoration, there also a gilded lacquer pattern on this recycled plastic, hand-painted by a young master. Again, this is a blend of innovation and tradition. This product is created under our project. We have this project every year called Succeed Concept. And the most important part is the concept behind it. The concept is don't waste the world just like you wouldn't waste toilet paper. So sustainability in Thai crafts is not just about using natural materials. It's about designing with intention, reducing waste, and sparking awareness through storytelling. Crafts is never just a product, it's a journey. It's a story woven from nature, people, and time. So as you can see on the right, it's a little bit blurred, but this is a floor lamp that is made from water hyacinth fiber. The design itself is not, it wasn't begin in a studio like a normal design object. It started in the wetland in Phayao province in the north of Thailand, where communities, they harvest water hyacinth, and these plants is often clogs the river, and so the communities, they turn this water hyacinth fiber into usable material. So from there, the material itself is dried and processed and twisted into rope and finally woven. So this one object carries emotional impact because it connects the maker to the land and the user to the maker. And so when this one is created, it creates social impact by turning an environment problem into opportunity and supporting rural livelihood. For this one, this is the most powerful role of craft, that is its ability to bring hope to those society often forgets. One of Saset's project, this is very close to our heart, the crafts for the vulnerables. So in this case is inmates. We arrange a master artisan to transfer his skill and knowledge to a group of inmates on how to make beautiful, delicate photo frame by hand. So this is more than just a skill or knowledge. This is when crafts become a form of therapy, restoring their focus, self-worth, and a sense of identity. So beyond healing, it also becomes a path forward. So when their prison term ends, they leave not just with memories, but with a skill, a purpose, and a future profession. So craft teaches patience, it builds dignity, it restores humanity. And through this, we see that beauty can be created even in the darkest place. Our program, Crafts for the Vulnerable, also includes one of the most overlooked and valuable groups in society, the elderly. So elder master artisans pass down skills such as embroidery, hand sewing, and textile crafts to senior citizens. And the goal is to give them a sense of purpose. Through crafts, elders regain confidence and they feel useful, proud, and connect to others. Most importantly, they know how to source the income and no longer have to rely solely on their children or government support. This is independence with dignity. When we talk about the social impact of crafts, this is what we mean. It's about rebuilding lives, restoring voices, and respecting every stage of life. As we move forward into more responsible future, we must ask how can craft respond to the principle of ESG or environmental, socially, and governance. This wall clock is a perfect example. This is also the same studio that we made with designer and artisan. At first glance, it looks elegant, like it is decorated with gold leaf or some luxury material. But when you look closer, you realize that the gold is actually a gold leaf, but it has the garbage image painted all over. The body itself is also made from recycled plastic, and the details are drawn using a gold leaf on lacquerware technique. The design tells the story of the Earth's surface, how from a distance it looks beautiful, but if we dig deeper, we see the damage, the waste, the environmental cost of consumption. So this is what it means to embed ESG into craft, not just using eco-material, but also designing with a message that challenges and educates. As we near the end of the presentation, I invite you to pause and rethink the value of craft together. On the slide, we see two different worlds. One on the left, a photo of a small textile studio in the province, dimly lit with quiet concentration. This is where the journey begins. And on the right, we see a glowing trade fair booth, colorful, polished, and ready for customer. This is the picture of the crafts fair in Bangkok arranged by Sasit earlier last month. And the fair itself looks effortless, but behind it is a very complex ecosystem of craft producers, raw materials harvesters, designers, mentors, transporters, and curators. So we often admire the end result, but we forget the process, the human stories, the generation of skills, and the long invisible hours. So if we want to create sustainable craft ecosystem, we must support every part of this chain, an ecosystem worth nurturing with fairness, creativity, and care. In closing, the impact of crafts extend far beyond mere objects. They are more just a product. When supported by institutions, communities, and all of us here today, they can create real sustainable impact beyond product, reaching people and most importantly to our planet. Thank you for being part of the movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Pong. Thank you so much for an inspiring speech. And since we're going to have a Q&A.
Yes. Before I leave, I would like to invite all of you to Success Symposium also in 2025, Crafting Sustainability Across ASEAN and Beyond. And this will take place very soon on this August 7 to 8 at Succeed in our office in Ayutthaya, and there will be lectures, workshop, exhibition, and details are available here through this QR code. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for information. And since we're going to have a Q&A session, so how about you go back to your seat and get your translation earphones, then come back to the stage, okay? In case we gonna use the translation earphones. 好，那接下来呢，我们要进行
Moving on, we are going to kickstart our QA session. We would like to invite our moderator, Director General of Bureau of Cultural Heritage, and also Mr. Mitamura-san, and also Mr. Lowy, and also Ms. Bo to join us on the stage.
OK， 好，那我们也请
We would also like to ask our audience members to maybe take a few minutes to think about the questions you would like to ask our panelists and our moderator. We need the moderator to use microphone, otherwise the interpreter won't be able to hear what's being discussed at the floor. So we would like to ask those audience members, if you have a question, please raise your hand. Yeah, we would like to ask our staff to pass on the microphone. My question is that what happens for, what exactly did you do right to actually pass on for ensure that 10 generations of legacy? It's difficult even in Taiwan to ensure 2 generations of legacy preservation. What's your trick and tips in doing so in your family? Mr. Midamura-san. We would like to ask the speaker to use microphone, otherwise the interpreter would not be able to hear them. I think the reason is because for each one of our generation, we're good at capturing the changes and essence of the time so they can pass these elements down to the future generation. For my grandchildren around age 10, they would join me in making my work. So I will tell them what is fun in doing so. And what matters the most is that from a very early age that we give our kids a lot of opportunities to present their works so they can be motivated and also feel a lot of fun in the process in doing so. We also have one question from this side of the floor. We would like to ask the staff to pass on the microphone. Can you hear me? Yes. I think I really admire all the masters on stage, and also Director General Chen, you said that 75% of those participating in this exhibition are young people. So my question is that from a very early on age, so Mura-san, your responsibility now is to develop and cultivate the future generation like your grandchildren. So you know very much about Taiwan. What's your advice for us, for Taiwanese young people, that can encourage us to have further exchange in education? Thank you for that question. I think that's Japan and Taiwan exchange. The main point is that the lacquer craft in Taiwan, we do have lots of advantages here in Taiwan, which can allow Taiwan to march into the world stage because you have a very good environment, ideal for the growth of lacquer trees. Therefore, I hope I can try my best to foster that Japan and Taiwan lacquer arts exchange. I think that exchange would, the younger the people involved, the better. I've been teaching at the University of Arts in Tokyo. So my students are around 20-something. So I have a new project for teenage people to allow them to have exposure to the fun and joyful experience with lacquer art. So if we can really entice them, that will be a good opportunity. I would like to enlist you all to encourage young people to take part in lacquer art. My question is to the speakers on the stage. I have talked to printing masters. They have talked about the technology craft and traditional crafts, the difference in these different craft trades. So also Director General Chen said that our craftspeople, our artisans, they have their hand tools. But now for young people, for people of our time, that we actually create with different tools. So what's your take on this transition into different types of tools?
All right, so the question is about changing the tools from the past to now and to the future, something like that, right? Okay. I think it's very, very important that we create an ecosystem where the young people can learn from the older generation or from the heritage. I think it's very important to come up with the new tools or experiment so that craft can go beyond what it has already been. But the thing which is very important in case of Thailand, we try to have the young artisan or the young craft master with the older or the very senior or a master craft artisan so that they can transfer the knowledge and they can give advice and coaching and mentoring, whether in terms of techniques or even inventing or creating the new tools. So I think to have a new tools or way of working or experimenting is very important, and that makes craft go in the future.
May I add something? When we talk about new tools, young people most often think of digital tools like CAD, 3D printing, and so on. And one of the problems is that these are intellectual tools. You don't touch the material. And I think one of the essential parts of a slow house philosophy would be hands. If you don't master yourself, you cannot master the material. I've seen 3D printed or CAD produced objects where there's a complete lack of knowledge of the material. You cannot make something in ceramic that's designed as if it's made of metal. And this aspect of new tools divorces the experience of crafts from the matter itself. You said that simplicity is not the opposite of complexity, it is the mastering of it. And this is a very, very important thing, is the time that you put in physically to produce the object I think is the key point of crafts. Designers can use tools which are shortcuts to mass production or to special production, but crafts has to involve hands. So the new tools should be hand tools, not digital tools.
本当に賛同いたします。お二人の意見。私もそのように思います。ですね、私は伝承されていますので、江戸時代から道具も材料も私の家にあります。で、技術というのがどんなに大事か。で、それを作ってきたですね、道具がWhen
it comes to skills or techniques, no matter how important they are or the tools are, we need to preserve them for the future generation. Of course, tools can vary and they evolve through time. Of course, we need to embrace new materials or new techniques and skills, we need to open up our hearts and minds to these new tools. Otherwise, young generation, young people will not be interested in taking up the legacy. I say this very often to young people. When it comes to craftsmanship, is it really something that you really need? It has to be made by hand. And also you need to pass it down to the future generation with your own hands. And they also need to experience with their own body this art craft. Otherwise, they won't be able to pass it on to future generation.
Thank you. So due to the time, we like our lecturers, our speakers to go back to your seat. Okay, thank you. 好，我们这边也谢谢我们的局长。
We would like to thank our Director General, Mr. Chen, for chairing this Q&A session. Now we are going to take a lunch break. This is going to be a lunch break, and we will reconvene at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. As we said before, we are going to have power outage between 1:30 to 2:30, so the aircon will be off during the lunch break. And we also have lunch boxes available on site. And please collect your lunch box. You can come back to this venue for your lunch. But please remember, we are going to have a metal lunch box for you. So remember, please, that return the metal lunch box to the designated spot after lunch. And please remember, don't leave any trash inside the venue.
Till 2 in the afternoon. So remember to bring your lunch coupon to outside the registration desk to receive your lunch boxes. And you may finish your lunch at this venue, it's all right. But remember to bring your trash outside this venue. And remember to bring back your container of your lunch boxes. Since we're going to use an iron container for your lunch boxes, remember to return it to the designated area. Thank you very much and enjoy your lunch. Thank you.